A dancer dies twice. Once while they stop dancing, and this first death is the more painful. That's Martha Graham, one of the most important figures in the history of modern dance. And in January 2020, BTS took that quote, that specific fear, and built an entire song around it. Not a metaphor about heartbreak, not a love song, a song about the most terrifying thing an artist can imagine. The moment your craft stops feeling like anything at all. That's Black Swan. And today we're gonna go line by line, verse by verse, through every member, through both versions. And I'm gonna show you why this is one of the most emotionally and technically constructed songs in their entire catalog. If you haven't seen my breakdown of RM as a lyricist yet, the video is linked right here, because some of what we talk about today builds directly on that. But this video is about all of them. Let's go ahead and get into this one, y'all. Before we touch a single lyric, you need to understand where this song lives. Black Swan was released January 17, 2020 as the first promotional single for the Map of Soul 7. The full album dropped February 21st. This is the Shadow chapter. If Persona asked, who am I for other people? Shadow asked, what do I hide from myself? Black Swan is the sonic answer to that question. The title is doing three things at once, and all three matter. 1, Swan Lake, the white swan, the black swan, purity versus darkness, the performance versus what lives underneath it. 2, the 2010 Natalie Portman film, Black Swan, perfectionism, identity fracturing under pressure, the cost of total artistic commitment. 3, a Black Swan event. In economics and philosophy, that's the term for a rare, unpredictable, catastrophic occurrence. Here, the catastrophic event is this. What if I wake up one day and music doesn't move me anymore? Those three references are all loaded into one 2-word title before the first note even plays. That's the level of intention that we're working with here. This song was produced by P-Dog, written by RM, P-Dog, August Rigo, Vince Nantes, and Clyde Kelly. And RM has said publicly he cried while writing his lyrics because he was imagining what it would feel like to be a dancer whose body one day simply couldn't dance anymore. He transferred that specific grief onto himself as a musician. Keep that in mind as we go through every verse. Do your thing, do your thing, do your thing. This intro gets slept on. People treat it like a warm-up. It's not. Jungkook is setting the entire emotional premise right here. Do your thing. Your thing, your passion, your reason. It's an invitation. It sounds like encouragement on the surface, but listen to the production underneath it. The beat is already haunting. The auto-tune is already distorted and murky. The warmth in those words is being undercut by the sound. That tension between the words saying go be yourself and the music sounding like you're singing, that's intentional. That is the song telling you before the first verse even starts that the passion they're singing about is already in danger. The repetition matters too. Do your thing over and over. When something has to be repeated that many times, it starts to sound less like an invitation and more like a plea, like trying to convince yourself. This is where the fear gets named out loud. Translation: my heart no longer beats when I listen to music anymore. Stop right there. In the original Korean, SUGA used reported speech here. He's not saying my heart doesn't beat. He's saying they say my heart doesn't beat, as if he's reporting news about himself from a distance, as if the person who has lost the feeling is someone he's observing, not someone he is. That grammatical difference is not an accident. That's a writer choosing to show you dissociation. The fear is so overwhelming, he can't even claim it in first person yet. Oh, that would be my first death. I've been always afraid of. And there it is. The Martha Graham quote made personal, not theoretical, not philosophical. I've always been afraid of this. SUGA is one of the most open members about his history with mental health. With the pressure of this career, with almost walking away from music entirely as a teenager, when he says he's always been afraid of this, that line carries real biographical weight. The production is doing something specific here too. That trap beat is there, but it's muffled, like it's coming from underwater. That's not an accident either. The sound is mimicking the emotional state, muted, distant, hard to feel. If you watch my last video, you know what RM does with a verse. But let me show you exactly how he does it here. Translation: if this can no longer make me cry, if it can no longer make my heart flutter. Notice the conditional if. He hasn't lost it yet. But the fact that he's saying if means that the thought has already arrived. The fear is already there. The conditional tense is doing the same work SUGA's reported speech did. It's a way of approaching the most terrifying thought without fully stepping into it. But what if that moment's right now? And then he steps into it. That line is a gut punch of the whole first half of this song. After all the ifs and the maybes, RM collapses the distance completely. What if it's not a future fear? What if it's happening right now? In this moment, as I'm performing this song for you. This is the same move I talked about in the last video. The grammatical ambiguity that makes the lyric do two things at once. He's asking the audience a question, but he's also asking himself. And he doesn't understand it. He just leaves it open. That's courage as a writer. Most writers resolve the tension. RM sits inside it. V and Jimin carry the emotional transition here. The pre-chorus is where the song shifts from personal fear to something more universal. They're not describing one artist's crisis anymore. They're describing the feeling of being unable to escape something that is both destroying you and defining you. The vocal layer in here is significant. Their voices are stacked and blended deliberately until you can barely tell them apart. That's a production choice that mirrors the lyrical content. The individual is dissolving into the experience. The I is becoming the feeling itself. If you know BTS's catalog, the C is not a random choice. Their song C from the Love Yourself series used the ocean as a symbol for the subconscious, for the unknown, for the thing underneath the surface of everything they show the world. They are pulling that thread directly into this song. The sea where all life sinks into silence is not a new image. It's a callback. It's a connected universe. Film it now. This line gets overlooked and it shouldn't. In the middle of this drowning imagery, suddenly there's a meta reference. Film it now. Document the suffering. Capture it. This is a direct acknowledgement of what their life actually is. The cameras are always there. The performance never stops. Even in the moments of deepest crisis, you are still being filmed, still being watched, and still being required to be something for other people. That is a specific, honest, uncomfortable truth about their existence that most artists would never put into a song directly. The chorus musically is where the tension peaks. The vocals are layered and almost overwhelming. The beat drops weight. This is sinking. You're supposed to feel it. J-Hope's verse is the turning point of the entire song, and I don't think he gets enough credit for how he carries that weight. Everything before this verse is descent. Fear, drowning, sinking, dissociation. J-Hope's verse is where the song starts to turn, but notice how he turns it. Not by escaping, not by denying the darkness, but by going deeper into it. I'll jump into it. Not I'll swim away. Not I'll fight my way up. I'll jump in. This is the Jungian shadow work that the entire map of Soul Project is built around. The only way through the shadow is through it. You don't defeat it, you go deeper until you find yourself at the bottom. At the deepest, I saw myself. That line is the philosophical hinge of the whole song. The fear was never really about losing music. It was about losing himself. And the place he finds himself is at the very bottom of the thing he was most afraid of. J-Hope's delivery here is everything. He is the member most associated with brightness and performance energy. Hearing him deliver this with that controlled, focused intensity is a deliberate, artistic choice. He's not performing happiness. He's performing truth. August D comes back and the energy has completely shifted. Awakening in the studio, waves and darkness, I refuse to be dragged away. Inside I saw myself. SUGA bookends the song. He opened it with the fear. He closes the second half with the refusal. This is not resolution. This is not everything is fine now. This is I see the darkness and I'm choosing to stay anyway. The mirror between At the Deepest I Saw Myself from J-Hope and Inside I Saw Myself from SUGA is not accidental. Two members, same moment of self-recognition, written in parallel. This is architecture. That is a song constructed like a building where every beam is load-bearing. The heartbeat is fast now, not slow and fading like the first pre-chorus, racing, alive. The forest is another reoccurring BTS image, labyrinth, personal, introspective. Haruki Murakami's influence on RM's writing shows up in this specific imagery. The forest as the interior world, and now instead of sinking into a sea, they're jumping into a forest they own. The geography of the metaphor has changed. They move from drowning in something external to entering something internal and claiming it. We have to talk about the art film version because it completely changes how you hear the song. The M and Dance Company performed the orchestral version of the art film. The trap beat is gone. The strings are exposed. The vocals are more naked. And every lyrical moment is the physical embodied by the dancers. Watch what happens during the singing sections. The main dancer is literally manipulated by the shadow dancers, pulled, controlled, unable to move freely. The shadows are not enemies, they're forces. They represent the fears, the industry, the internal pressures that shape an artist whether they want them to or not. The ending is the turn. The main dancer doesn't defeat the shadows. She incorporates them. The shadow becomes wings. The thing that was dragging her down becomes the thing that lifts her. That is the same arc as the lyrics, and it is executed without a single word. That is what it looks like when a creative vision is so clear, it can be translated into entirely different artistic language and still communicate the exact same thing. Here's what Black Swan proves. This is not a group that writes around difficult things. This is a group that writes directly into them. The Martha Graham quote isn't decoration. It's the foundation. Every verse, every production choice, every vocal arrangement is built on that one central fear and follows it all the way through its resolution. SUGA gives you the fear. RM gives you the confrontation. J-Hope gives you the turning point. The chorus gives you the drowning. The second half gives you the survival. They do all of that in 3 minutes and 18 seconds. In my last video, I made the argument that RM is one of the most technically sophisticated lyricists working in popular music today. This song doesn't change that argument. It expands it, because Black Swan shows you that the craft doesn't live in one member. It lives in how they function as a unit. how the individual voices serve as a collective architecture. That's BTS. That's what gets missed when the conversation stays at the surface level. Go ahead and check out the orchestral version tonight. Then come back and drop in the comments which verse hit hardest. I want to know if SUGA's opening or J-Hope's turning point is landing more for people. If you want me to go even deeper on the Map of Soul shadow concept and how it runs through the whole album, let me know. That video will be a long one, but I think it's worth it. Like, comment, and subscribe. And also, guys, please go ahead and hit that hype button because it lets people see it that wouldn't normally see it, and it helps us build our community. If you guys are still watching this video, you are Rotten Rose family, and I greatly appreciate you so much. I would like to end this video off giving my 3 thank yous. Thank you, thank you, and thank you. The first thank you goes to somebody that's watching this video for the first time. Thank you. The second one goes to somebody that might be watching this video and you might have saw one video before this. The third one goes to somebody that knows me well and enjoys the content that I bring. I appreciate you guys so much, and not a comment goes unnoticed. We also have a Cash App if you guys would like to send donations, and we also have a Patreon too. Thank you to everybody that has been supportive of the Rotten Rose family. It's your guy RottenRoseQ, and I'm out of here.